The Living Zen-podcast is a gift from the members and associates of the Victoria Zen Centre to you. If you enjoy it, please be sure to let your friends know about Living Zen. If you'd like to support our community, here are a few ways that you can do it. Download the Living Zen podcast app for iPod, iPhone, or Android. You can also purchase additional Zen Talks by Venerable Eshu on iTunes or Amazon.com. One of the most meaningful ways to show your support is by joining our Sangha as an associate. Your commitment of $10 a month will ensure that offerings like the Living Zen podcast and our online e-Zendo will continue to be available around the world to everyone with an interest in truly living Zen. To become an associate, please visit our website at www.zenwest.ca and click on the membership tab. Thank you for your support. So it takes me back a little bit to be having just a small sitting group, first time sitting group. I was just downstairs talking about the foundation of practice, and that in spite of all this form that we have, this consistent form, this sort of structured container that we use, is essentially just a powerful and clear mirror. As we take up meditation practice, as we start to sit, one of the things that starts to develop and really clarify is our awareness of what we're doing with our bodies and with our minds, with our feelings. And when we practice in this way together, in the sort of context of a formal environment like this, it provides us this amazing opportunity to see where we're at, to see what's really going on in our heads and in our bodies. We always think that we're kind of in our lives, but what we find when we come to take up this practice, when we sit up straight and start paying attention, trying to connect with our breath, is that our minds are like busy squirrels or monkeys jumping around after thought. Our feelings are constantly all over the map, running towards what makes us comfortable and trying to avoid the things that scare us, make us angry. What we find is, in truth, that most of the time in our lives we're actually not really there at all. We're sort of habitually going through the motions and doing our jobs, doing our required social interactions, the script that we run with our friends and our partners or our teachers, our parents, our kids. Not alive at all, just like robots running a program. So the essence of our practice isn't such a complex thing at all. It's not about, becoming some high holy Buddha, whatever we think that is. The word Buddha just means the one who is awake. So our practice is simply this matter of waking up. And it's not so complex. In fact, in Zen practice, we start in a very simple way. As we're sitting, can we wake up to the fact that we're sitting? Can we wake up through the activity of sitting? Can we realize that as we sit, the complete content of our lives, our everything, is simply this activity of sitting? There's nowhere for us to be but right here. And there's nothing for us to be doing except this, what we're doing right here. And yet when we're honest, when we're aware how little of our time and energy is spent in the only place where we can truly be, which is right here, doing this activity. So over and over again, as we practice, we find ourselves reaching out, grasping towards the future, what we're planning on, or reaching back and remembering fondly or with anger the past. Sometimes we're doing both simultaneously, one after the other, but so rarely just stopping to check in, to ground ourselves in what's happening, what's unfolding in this moment. And so this practice is not so complex. All we're doing is just committing ourselves through the use of this form and this practice to returning, to coming back to the unfolding and dynamic activity of this very moment. As we sit, we're just paying attention to the sensations in our body, the thoughts and emotions in our mind as they arise, without being led into the future or into the past, without being distracted by them. When we find that when we catch ourselves off in the future, back in the past, focused on a particular sensation, a particular sound, a smell, simply softening our grip, letting go, allowing ourselves to return to what's going on right here, right now. And in the beginning of practice, sometimes this is a real struggle, just to engage in this activity of, I'm just going to sit, and I'm actually just going to sit. I'm just going to be here as I sit. We can find that we're all over the place. And it's not just at the beginning. Sometimes, we've got a lot going on in our lives and we've been practicing for 20 years and God, it's all we can do to just sit for a few minutes. But what this form offers us is an opportunity to really investigate, to come to know ourselves in a very subtle way. Each of us has motivations, things that we pursue, things that we avoid, things that we're scared of, things that we desire. And they manifest in all kinds of activities throughout our lives. And what we can do in Zen practice is actually watch them pop up. We can become familiar with how we interact with different dynamics in human relationship, in activity, in thought patterns. And we can begin to develop the ability to just recognize them, to feel the draw, feel ourselves being pulled out of the dynamic, unfolding activity of our lives, and to let it go, and to allow ourselves to sink back into the unfolding activity of our lives, our home. There's nowhere else to be. There's nothing else to do. So we go through these different forms in Zen practice. We have sitting meditation. Maybe as we sit, we think, man, I'm wasting so much time. I've got this whole list of things that I should be doing. Just let it go. Come back to this simple activity of sitting. When we walk, we can be so distracted by wanting to do it right, wishing that they would speed up. How come this person in front of me can't keep in step? Just letting it go. Making relationship with the person in front of us, walking harmoniously with them, with everybody in the group that we're practicing with the room, with the whole cosmos manifesting this activity of walking. When we're chanting, what is this that I'm chanting? What does it mean? What if somebody saw me doing this? Oh my God, this chanting is so weird. All of these thoughts can come up. And they pull us out of the activity of living our lives into our conceptual mind, into the world of past and future. Just let go and come back, fully engaging, fully dissolving into the activity of our lives that is unfolding before us. So although there are many different aspects of form, although there are many practices that we can get engaged in Zen, always there is just this one single practice, waking up and landing in the midst of this unfolding life of ours, waking up to this dynamic activity that is our life. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do.
Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.